Center for Spiritual Living, Yolo, coming to you live from the beautiful Grand Princetonian here in gorgeous downtown Winters, California. We love it, we love it, we love you. So glad that you're here. Let's get things started off with a little song of mine called Our God is Love. My God is love. My God is love. My God is love. Love so divine, and it is yours as it is mine. So let this be all I'm thinking of. My God is love. Your God is love. Your God is love. Your God is love. Love so divine, and it is yours as it is mine. So let this be all you're thinking of. Your God is love. Our God is love. Our God is love. Our God is love. Love so divine, and it is yours as it is mine. So let this be all we're thinking of. Our God is love. Our God is love. Our God is love. Our God is love, 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 love. Our God is love.
Thank you, Billy Larkin.
Welcome.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Dr. Deborah Taylor, a practitioner here in this community, and it is my joy and privilege and honor to welcome you to our service, whether you're here in person or online or somewhere in the universe. Welcome. Before we get started, though, I just have to say, you know, it's all about vibration. And to be here in the vibration of Billy Larkin's, just letting God show through his music is already, you know, the thing. It is, I'm just so, yeah. His ability to invoke and to evoke that feeling of connection with the divine is just so, so wonderful. Thank you, Billy. And much of it is his own, it's his own creation. It's God and Billy doing it. So at this time, I'd like to extend a very special welcome to any first-time guests or returning guests who may not have been here for a while. We're so glad to have you here today. And we have a special gift for you. So if you raise your hand, one of our ushers will come by and give it to you. And at this time, let me remind us that restrooms are to my left, your right, up the ramp in the hallway, as well as downstairs in the fellowship area. So, what is science of mind? Science of mind is a spiritual movement, not a stasis. It's a movement focused on the power of the mind to shape one's experience. And if this is your first time here, or if you're new to this philosophy, I'm going to take a couple of minutes to just tell you what we practice and believe here at CSL Yolo. So first of all, we believe that love, L-O-V-E, love, is all there is. So let's just take a breath on that one, because sometimes, you know, things don't show up, doesn't feel like it's love, huh? But we say, yes, love is the basis of everything. It's either an expression of love, when we feel good about it, or it's a call for love. But maybe it doesn't feel so good, but if we can just take a breath and look beyond the outer appearances, love is being called for in that moment. And if we can just kind of take a breath and sink into that and allow our love, not necessarily, what we're seeing with our physical eyes, but what we're seeing with our heart's eyes to flow forth, it can change everything. We believe that all thought is creative and influential. Thoughts are things. And we don't beat ourselves up if we happen to be having some thoughts that maybe aren't serving us in the moment. But what we know and what we teach here is new thought. We can choose a different thought. And honestly, that choice for me is the basis of freedom. It's the basis of freedom. That we don't have to succumb to knee-jerk responses anymore. We get to consciously choose, and therein we are free. We believe that you are whole, perfect, and complete exactly as you are right now. So regardless of what your 5th grade teacher said, regardless of what you might have said to yourself only moments ago, I don't know, take so. You are whole, perfect, and complete because you're a spiritual being. That is your true nature. And so as we simply open up to knowing more and more and expressing more and more of that, wow, our lives we begin to reflect more and more of that. And our thoughts reflect more and more of that. And our lives reflect more and more of that. And then our thoughts reflect more and more of that. And then our lives reflect more and more of that. It is kind of this, ongoing chain reaction kind of thing. We believe in a world that works for everyone. And we're working from that world right now. Because this world is made up of spiritual laws and principles. And everybody has access to that. And so as we allow ourselves to live our best life, we allow that for others. Even if it doesn't look like what we think they ought to be doing, right? We don't get to create in their lives. We create in our life and our experience. So now we're going to enter into what we call namaste time. And namaste basically is from a Sanskrit word that means I bend to you. And we even go deeper than that, bend to you, hello kind of idea, in that we are bending to the divine in me bows and acknowledges the divine in you. And so we are a divine creation greeting a divine creation. And we simply allow that to radiate through our eyes as we make eye contact. And it's kind of a virtual hug in these times that we live in. So, namaste. And now, here's my other hat. Let's welcome our pulpit assistant today, our practitioner of the day, Deborah Taylor.
She's here.
I'm here
She's here.
to share our mission and vision statement and our affirmation. Okay, so this is exciting. What I'm going to do is invite us to just take a breath, and I'm going to read our vision statement, after which I'm going to invite you to state that statement in your own voice, which is so powerful. So, our vision here at CSL Yolo is to create an environment for all to realize the power of spiritual connection. So let's say it together. Our vision is to create an environment for all to realize the power of spiritual connection. And our CSL Yolo mission statement, our mission is to provide a sanctuary for all to be lifted and inspired to embody spiritual principles and live their inherent greatness. So I'm going to invite us to just stand because we're embodying. So let's have some body and some embodying happening here. And let's just take a breath and become that sanctuary within our own hearts. So our mission is to provide a sanctuary for all to be lifted and inspired to embody spiritual principles and live their inherent greatness. Oh my gosh, did you know you're inherently great already? Sit down, great ones. That is so fabulous. So our affirmation, man, this one really hit me hard. Because I'm going to tell you a little story. Normally I don't, but I'm going to tell you a little story about this one. First, I'm going to read it. I'm going to tell you a story, and then we're all going to say it together. Okay? So the affirmation for today: I have the courage to be who I am and love myself out loud. Okay, so here's my story.
Yeah.
You guys see this? Okay, so yesterday, I finally decided to buy some new tennis shoes. I really need to get started walking again. And my tennis shoes that I had, that I loved, well, they're okay. Let's see, my grandson is 18. I bought him when he was 4. So, you know, I glued the little bottom thing on a couple of times. But anyway, one of them was like just flopping, right? Flopping. I was driving and I thought, okay, you can't even hardly walk in this. You're going to trip, you know, and hurt yourself. I have a manual shift car. Even driving my car, you know, the thing would get hung up. I'm like, you know, this is dangerous. So a friend, you know, and I just had in my head all these, oh God, I have to go, where do I have to go to find tennis shoes? And then I have to try them on and on and on. And a friend suggested, why don't you just go to Big Five in Davis and get some tennis shoes? So yesterday I drove to Davis and I'm limping into the Big Five store. I found some tennis shoes that I like, and they're comfortable. I can wear big socks and inserts and all that stuff. And as I was walking out you know, and there are people around. And I thought, you know, it wasn't a few years ago, I would have been so humiliated and embarrassed to walk into a store or any place with my tennis shoe flopping like this. I would have been beating myself up and, you know, just, it would have been horrible. I would have been feeling really horrible. But yesterday it was like, okay, I'm just finally gonna get these tennis shoes and it was just getting a pair of tennis shoes. You know, it wasn't about anything else. So, this affirmation today, I have the courage to be who I am and love myself out loud, really is speaking to me. And I hope it's speaking to you, because I'm going to invite you to stand and anchor these words in your consciousness. And whatever it is that you need to love yourself out loud about, I'm inviting you into that space. So let's say it together. I have the courage to be who I am and love myself out loud. And so it is. So it is. So this time, I'm going to invite our board president.
Deborah, you were speaking.
Sorry.
You were speaking. Who is our speaker?
Oh. Thank you, Billy. It is my great pleasure to welcome, Lucian. Lucian, I know you told me your last name, and guess what? It went. You know I can't see that? Baker. Thank you. Thank you, people. You know, this is my birth month, so hey. Lucian Baker, back. Lucian was here about a year ago. Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous speaker. And we are in for a treat. Not just a treat, but really some elevation, some growth, some expansion, some connection today. So thank you for being here, Lucian. Next time, bring those boys. He has 2 boys. They were fun. So now I get to invite Peggy Gravender to share some announcements. Awesome light around here.
Good morning, everybody. We're going to start off again with the Gratitude Group led by June Robinson. The mission of the Gratitude Group is to uplift our lives through an ever-increasing sense of gratitude for Spirit's presence. In this group, we explore the very nature of gratitude and its many gifts through study, discussion, and fellowship. That meets on the second Thursday of every month. And so this month it'll be on the 14th in the Davisville Apartment Community Room, 1221 Kennedy Place in Davis. Next one. So we have a new member named Stephanie who plays the French horn, and she will be playing in the Auburn Symphony. And we wanted to support her by acknowledging this on September 16th. If you're in the Auburn area, those of you on YouTube, if you're around Auburn, it might be well worth the drive to go and see this wonderful event.
It's free.
Oh, and it's free, which I didn't know. Yay. It's at the Auburn School Park Preserve. And if you live around there, you probably know where that is. I do not. Okay, next up we have 3 things that are coming to the Grand Prince Odeon near you. The 3rd annual cabaret, we are planning it. We haven't set a date yet, but we are doing the 3rd annual cabaret. It's a wonderful event. We have lots of guest artists who will share their talents. And last year it was amazing. It was the first one I've gone to, but it was very fun. And we'll, of course, have wonderful treats downstairs afterwards. The next is we are also working on hosting a mixer, Chamber of Commerce mixer here at the GPO. And we'll be working with the other services that hold here, interfaith communities, to host it here. So keep an eye out for that. And last, we will also be scheduling an annual pledge night, hopefully fairly soon. What we do with the annual pledge is we plan our 2024 budget out of what is scheduled, or what is hopefully coming in by the pledges. So keep an eye out for those events. We haven't set the dates yet because we're still working on the logistics, and that's it for today. Thank you.
Thank you, Peggy. Now, as we enter into the more contemplative portion of today's service, please join me in singing "There Is Only Love." In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. When I lose myself, when it seems I've lost my way, when I go inside and quiet my mind, I can hear Spirit gently say, there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only
Good morning. Today we have three separate readings. The first one is all is mind, and as we attract to us what we first become, until we learn to love, we are not sending out love vibrations, and not until we send out those vibrations can we receive love in return. And that's from the Science of Mind, page 297. Love is at the center of our being, and the calm, continuous pulsations of life are governed by love. That's also from the Science of Mind, page 238. Whether we are engaged in a process of self-love or of loving others, we must move beyond the realm of feeling to actualize love. This is why it is useful to see love as a practice. And that's by Bill Hooks from All About Love, New Visions.
Thank you, Heather. All about love. So here we practice the concept of affirmative prayer. And in order to attract that which we want into our lives, we must become magnets for that which we wish to attract. And so when I pray, I like for us to engage not only in hearing the words, but allowing that vibration to rise up within us, to radiate, because that's what gets reflected back. And so I'm going to invite you to participate in maybe a different way in this prayer. So I'm going to invite you to allow your breath to deepen itself in its own perfect rhyme and rhythm. And as you inhale this invisible stuff that we call air, that we so trust, we've never seen it, we've never touched it, and yet we trust that it is a very critical and essential part of our survival and our thrival in our physical plane. And so I'm going to invite you to allow this invisible stuff to be a metaphor for the invisible side of life, that it's real, that we can trust it, that it is the very essence and essential to the creation, to the thrival, to the expansion, to the all that is. And so let us just step into our sacred heart space, allowing it to expand and expand and expand into infinity, into eternity. For we are eternal spirit beings. And as we simply are, I'm going to invite us to allow gratitude to well up within us. Gratitude is the ultimate state of receivership, according to Dr. Joe Dispenza. Even, or I shouldn't say even, but before all this, Yeshua the Christ says, ask, knowing that it is already given and it is yours. And so right now we're standing in the asking and the giving of that which we wish to experience. More love. Ooh, I'm just standing in love right now. More joy. Joy is welling up in my heart and my mind right now. More peace. I simply let go and I let God. Infinite abundance. Oh, I simply release my gifts. I give and I give and I receive and I receive. Beautiful relationships. I am my own best friend, and that's how I learn to be friend to others. Beauty in my life. beauty of the universe reflected in my life. Power. Oh, there is a power in the universe that I can use because I am a divine creation, a divine emanation, a divine expression of that universe. All that it has is mine. And what I have does not detract from anyone else. For there is more than enough, always enough for everyone. Fill in the blank. So whatever it is you are to experience and want to experience, simply call it in for that divine intelligence that knows all and is everywhere. That is the power that you use, that you have access to right now. And I'm just calling it forth within, calling it forth into conscious awareness. I'm calling it forth into conscious expression. I'm calling it forth into that subconscious knowing place. And so I am simply standing in gratitude for all that has been experienced, for all that has been shown, for all that is, and this ever-expanding awareness of God, of the presence of Spirit, by whatever name you may call it. It doesn't care. Sometimes I call it Big Mama. Sometimes I call it Wakantanka, Allah, Jehovah, Yahweh, Shango, Yemaya, my buddy, Gaia. It's right here, right now. And so I simply release my word, for in the beginning was the Word. The Word was with God. The Word is God. The Word is creative. I release my word into the alchemy of law and love. As I stand in the feeling tone of all is well, I let go, I let God. There's no attachment to outcome, for all is well. And I invite all to join with me in anchoring this truth with the yes of agreement from our African tradition, Ashe. With the yes of agreement from our Native American tradition, Aho.
Aho.
With the yes of agreement from the Abrahamic, Judeo-Christian, Islamic tradition, Amen.
Amen.
And with that yes of agreement from our Science of Mind tradition, and so it is.
So it is. So this next song you probably recognize. And Erica, my partner, she said, please don't use the same introduction that you've done every time you do one of these songs. And I said, okay, and then I'm going to do it anyway. This song is comes from the Gospel according to John, Paul, George, and Ringo. sing that can't be sung. There's nothing you can say, but you can learn how to play the game. It's easy. There's nothing you can make that can't be made. There's no one you can say that can't be saved. You can learn how to be you in time. It's easy. You join me here. All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love. Sweet loving. Love is all you need. Love, love, love. There's nothing you can know that can't be known. Nothing you can see that isn't shown. There's nowhere you can be that isn't where you're meant to be. It's easy. All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love. Sweet loving, love is all you need. Love, love, love. Love, 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 love. Love, love, love. All you need is love. Everybody. All you need is love. All you need is love. Sweet loving, yeah. Love is all you need. Love is all you need. Love is all you need. How's it going?
All right.
I'll be honest, the hardest part is always an introduction. I always want to come with a witty introduction. I'm never good at that part. Once it gets rolling, it's pretty decent. The beginning's always awkward, right? I don't want to come out just with a joke or I'm not good at that. I've just never been good at that. So, what's up? All right, we'll start there. I want to thank the both of you for centering me. That invocation, actually, there's this moment where when my eyes are closed, it feels like the room is spinning. Does anyone else get that sometimes? You did that for me just now. I feel like that's God just shaking the butterflies out of me. See, today we're not just talking about love. We're talking about self-love, which is really the only kind of love there is anyway. I came here knowing how beautiful this congregation is, remembering how well I was treated the last time I was here. Of course, remembering this beautiful building that we are in right now, and I started telling myself things. Oh, Lucian, you got to bring it this time. Come on now. They're used to Reverend David. You can't play around. I started telling myself all these things. See, in the beginning, there was God. I get to remember that part. In the beginning, there was God. What does that mean? That means that everything else after that can only be God. Everything we see is an expression of God. Now, here's what's beautiful. The ego is our own evidence that we are individual expressions of God. But let's not be fooled. There is no you and God. There is only God. That means that even when we speak from our pain, we are speaking the word of God. The not so fun part about that is when others are speaking from their pain, we get to remember that what they are saying is, I am God. The ego wants to be remembered. The ego wants to be seen. The ego wants us to always remember we are an individual expression of God. But at any moment, we can tell our ego, hey, listen, I'd like you to be quiet for a minute. And remember that I am also part of the collective, part of the, well, we were just singing the Beatles in here, part of the party. That's all a party is. A party is church. That's really all a party is. Whenever I go to a concert, you can't tell me I'm not at church. In honor of hip-hop's 50th anniversary that just happened in August, let me remind you that when you see Brother Lucian at a Wu-Tang concert, he's at church. I always get laughs when I say that, but my face is never ever in a smiling look in this manner. I am at church when I'm at a Wu-Tang concert. Who am I to tell you how to pray? Who am I to tell you how to love? Who am I to do that? Love. I've gained a reputation for not looking at my notes, even though I write them down and just walking all around. Today I was like, I'd like to actually use my notes for a change. I feel the love from people and I forget, hey, you have notes, use them. So here's what our friend Ernest says about love. Orale, Holmes. It's always a few who get that part, so I'll keep working on it. Love rules through law. Love is the givingness. Law is the way. Love is spontaneous. Law is impersonal. Love points the way and law makes the way possible. I grew up in this philosophy of science of mind. As much as a lot of people feel like that is giving me an advantage on life, let me tell you what my childhood was often like. Now, a black kid from South Berkeley and East Oakland, California, in our community, you're either Christian or Nation of Islam. That's it. So sitting in the cafeteria and people ask you, so what church do you go to? What do you believe? It's like, here we go again. They hear about I don't really believe in hell and I don't really believe in sin. And here's what that would always freak people out. There were plenty of sleepovers I was not invited to for that very reason. I started realizing as I got older, we don't really have a religion. It's a philosophy. Mm-hmm. At 42 years of age now, I'm realizing, oh, yes, we do. Our religion is love. Regardless of how frightened I am, regardless of how irritated I may be, I get to love. If we don't have enough evidence from that alone, let us remind ourselves that when a newborn baby gets to this planet, it knows nothing about exclusion. The baby loves everything it sees. It isn't until an outside entity begins messing with the consciousness of this beautiful child that the child develops a different idea of what love is supposed to look like. The child doesn't say, oh, well, you're this gender, I don't want to hug you. You're this shade, I don't want to love you. You're this economic background, I don't want to love you. You don't know how to conjugate a verb, so I don't want to love you. A child does not say that. But we do allow our own experiences to shape and mold the way we look at the world, and the ego begins telling us things, and we get to listen or remember that in the beginning, there was God. We've all done this. What is self-love? It's the only love that exists. You can only show the love that you feel in yourself. I remember this whenever I hear a loud, obnoxious argument and people are saying the meanest things possible. What they're really saying is, I want to be loved. Doesn't sound like that, but that's all anybody can ever say. What does it mean to be divine? I love how we just did that namaste practice with each other. That was so beautiful. To be divine is to see the divine in everything you come across. Self-love is also the way we relate to the love around us, our environment. I love so many stories about Jesus and the miracles he performed because I did not grow up with the Bible. So it's very awesome to me now because I did not grow up with these stories. But something I know that he said over and over again is there is no difference between you and I. He told us that on so many times. Listen, there's no difference between us. You can do all of this too. The way we perform miracles is by having a relationship with our environment. I have watched my grandmother literally stop time. I've seen it. Especially those times where I was trying to get away from her because I did something bad. She can stop time. I don't know what it is. I was running my fastest. Somehow she was in front of me. This is what happens when we are in love with the environment around us. I have watched people walk into hostile situations and their presence alone transformed everything around them. It is possible. How many in here truly know that they are the, not an, the presence of God? How many people in here know that? When we truly know that, we also know that everything we come across is only a reflection of ourselves. That's the part that's not so easy.
Oh boy.
What is hip-hop exactly? It is the voice of people saying, I want to be heard and I feel like you're not listening to me. That's all it is. I have to say that for a number of reasons. Number one, just understand that I am from the hip-hop generation. I do not believe that because I am a ministerial student that I have to stop listening and participating in hip-hop events. You will see me at those same events. I'm sorry. Just let me tell you that right now. Before you judge and wonder how can a minister be here at the same concert as me, ask yourself this. Whoever said that the concert itself is not another expression of the presence of God? Back when I was the youth and family director at Oakland CSL, I had an exercise for a lot of our teens. I grew up in the 90s, so of course there was a time where the grunge and hip-hop sounded very much alike. So there is no kind of music or musical message I'm not going to understand as the presence of God. But I told all my teens, if you want to shut your parents up, here's what you have to do. Find the most obnoxious, ignorant, annoying, offensive song that you like to listen to. Print out the lyrics, read them, and then I want you to come up with the spiritual message behind all of that. It's possible. Let me tell you, these teenagers was coming up with spiritual messages from Too Short. And we all know what his favorite word is. Don't repeat it. The voice of God is the voice of God. Who is willing to go deep within themselves and fine-tune their own ears to hear only the voice of God? Who's willing to be that divine? Do you truly love yourself? Do you truly know how beautiful you really are? I'm looking at all of you, and let me just say, everyone up here is beautiful. That's what God does, a daily dose of God. We all love taking our supplements. Remember to take your daily dose of God, too. Now, when we talk about physical beauty, this is really fun. Because now we live in an informational age. You know, in the 50s and all those times, you didn't really know what it took to be a supermodel. Now we get to know. And I was watching this one thing that just showed up on my feed. That's what's beautiful about these algorithms, because it also shows that what you keep thinking, you keep seeing more of. God wanted me to see this. And so it showed me the life of this supermodel. I grew up watching Tyson Beckford be posted everywhere. That's why I love Simone Polo. It's because of him. And I wanted to be him so badly. And so it's showing this male model. He's already what society calls beautiful. Has the chiseled face and the muscles and the beautiful skin. And see, he's already that. Then they put all kinds of makeup and moisturizer on him before the shoot. Then they take the shoot with all this special kind of lighting. Then after the shoot, they Photoshop the image. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Who we're looking at isn't even real. That's not even a real person you're looking at, but yet we look at that and we judge ourselves. I'm not beautiful because I don't look like that. That person doesn't even look like that. Someone decided one day what beauty is. Then television came out and all these other things, and that same idea of that one person, that one consciousness kept being pumped to us, and we just all decided, I guess that's what beautiful is. You ever notice someone who is not that at all, not that version of beautiful, but yet you cannot tell them they're not fine? Have you ever met that person? Yeah. I have. That person annoys us often. It's only our own insecurities. I know why I get mad at that person, because I don't have the courage to step out and say, yes, I too am beautiful. But that's really what's going on. Self-love is the only kind of love there is. We can love out here all we want. We can do all the charities. We can give all the hugs. We can say all the nice things to all the people we want. Unless we feel that way about ourselves first, we are faking. When's the last time you truly loved yourself? That pain that you're thinking about. Those embarrassing moments that you were holding on to. I have them too. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I said that. I really felt like that in front of all those people. Oh my goodness. Don't erase that. That's part of the beauty I am looking at right now before me. Do not erase that. Everything is God. Michael Jordan says, everybody talks about all the shots I made. What they do not realize is I missed way more shots than I'll ever make. It's those missed shots that are making you a champion right now in this moment. Do you know how beautiful you are? You are flawless. And just because there are many walking around with the consciousness of beauty only looks like this, that has nothing to do with you. Life began out of darkness. If you don't believe me, let's go back to when you were inside your mother forming. It was dark in there. If you are in a dark time in your life, give thanks. Give thanks for this dark time. It is the dark time that is the retransformation moment. We are always in the womb of the next phase. Always. Even right now, I don't know what's going on after this, but what we do know is there is a next phase. We are in the womb right now. Whenever you find yourself in a dark time, give thanks, for you are on to something new. We get to reinvent ourselves over and over again. Do you know how beautiful you are? Give thanks for those moments when you scraped your knees on the pavement. Give thanks for those moments where you missed the ball. It's the pain that makes it the best part anyway. We know that. We all saw Rocky. The part where he was screaming Adrian at the end, that's it. The movie's over now. We can go home. What about the part right before that? Where the scary music is playing. Where his trainer is telling him, it's over, Rock. He's too powerful. You can't beat him. Remember that? And you're wondering if Rocky comes out of well. Remember, there's a few where he did not win. They did that on purpose. The ego likes that part where we're uncertain. It makes it fun. That's why we do it. Why do kids watch scary movies? We know there's no real Jason, but we still used to watch it and then go camping on purpose. I don't know why we did that. It's like to be scared. That's why we ride roller coasters. We pretend it doesn't dip up and, oh no, what's going to happen? Stop it. If we just give a breath and remember our oneness, it's boring because there's no drama. And we don't like to be bored. So we find reasons to freak ourselves out. I don't know what I'm going to do. Yes, you do. Stop it. You know what to do. You might not want to do what you need to do, but you know what to do. This is what love looks like. There is nothing that can exist outside of you. Everything exists according to your consciousness. The great KRS-One, and let me just say this before I make my point. Telling someone, when are you going to start making spiritual hip-hop raps? We always laugh when we hear that. Because we know you're not paying attention when you say that. Hip-hop is already spiritual. What we need to do when we feel that way is listen harder. KRS-One said the key to being rich is deciding whose side you're on. That goes with everything. What do you want to be? The consciousness is there. Just tap into it. It's there. What do you want to be? You can decide to be healthy whenever you feel like it. You can just live a healthy life. You can just decide that. What have we told ourselves up to this point? I love telling this story here. Reverend Greg Toole was one of my instructors when I was in prac. And he talked about how he had this Club One membership. In downtown Oakland, Club One was like the club in the early 2000s. All the Warriors had memberships there, a few Raiders, and it was like if you could afford a Club One membership, you better get one because you're somebody. Guys who had Club One memberships would always accidentally show their Club One card if they saw a girl they liked and drop, oh my goodness, my Club One, everybody heard that, right? My Club One card just fell. Like, it was a way to win people over. So he's at Club One, and these guys can play. He's trying to play basketball. And so he plays the first day, and he does not do well. He told everybody, like, it was embarrassing. And I know, because I know how well dudes hoop in Oakland. He goes back the next day, and the third day, he's starting to judge himself because he's not doing as well as everyone. No one told him, you're not good, but he started telling that about himself. So he started on Monday, now Friday rolled around. He's there and everybody's about to pick teams. He's not feeling good about himself. He says this as he's walking up to the court. And as soon as he gets there, the guy goes, what are you doing here? You can't play. He said his first instinct was to get angry. But then he remembered that the guy was only saying what he felt about himself anyway. If he was not even entertaining that, he wouldn't even have heard it. Imagine me walking up to Michael Jordan right now and saying, you're not even that good of a basketball player. You think he would even take that serious? He would laugh in my face and probably give me a free pair of his shoes. Like, you make my day, young man. When we truly know who we are, can't nothing convince us. It works the other way too. You can tell somebody how beautiful they are all day. If they don't believe it, they're not going to hear you. That's how relentless the ego is. The universe only knows one word, and that is okay. Yes. Why does it only say yes to us? Why? Because it is pure love. The universe is pure love. It wants us to be happy.
Now, as empowering as that sounds, there's that other part. As soon as I start saying, this is terrible, this is whack, I'm not good enough, guess what I'm going to hear?
Yes.
And what we are passionate about, we see more of.
Yeah.
That's why I keep seeing so many fly short dudes, and it gets on my nerves. Who is this short dude to be so fly? That's annoying. That's because I feel a way about being short. I'll get over it. How do you feel about you? I truly believe, since everything begins with self, that the only thing we need to do to heal the world is to heal ourselves. That's so scary to me. Because while I'm watching all these other things I'm worried about, I'm watching gentrification happen to this city I love so much. I'm watching all kinds of things with our youth and hate crimes. When I'm watching all this, I want so desperately to feel like I'm saving the world. No. You know what happens when you take a flight. Put that mask on yourself first. If you starve yourself of love, then how can you truly love the rest of us? I need you to love you. I need you to love you. I may be in a moment where I need you to help me remember me. I need you to be full of yourself so that you can breathe life into me. I need you to. The biggest responsibility we can do to anything is loving ourselves. When you love yourself, there's no room for hate. Love is all there is, but understand there are other vibrations. There's love and then there's fear. They're both on the same spectrum, just different sides of the spectrum. Fear is what represents that other kind of love, that conditional love. I love you as long as you're doing what I think you're supposed to. That's fear. And we have all been afraid before. So let's understand that when someone is speaking from their fear, what they're really saying is, I'm afraid, but I too want love. Last thing. There was a time in my life where it's kind of stopped now, but different neighborhoods in Oakland just did not get along. You know, I thought it was a black community thing, but being that I'm equally as suburban as I am hood, I've realized now that it's just a dude thing. Dudes love to find other dudes to not get along with because it's an ego, testosterone thing. I don't know what it is, but we just like to do that. And so these different neighborhoods weren't getting along because I was from 23rd, those dudes from 35th, we just did not mix well. Well, I was walking this girl home who I really liked, and she stayed on 35th. Listen, I like this girl. I'm not going to let some bullies from 35th keep me from walking her home. So I'm walking her home. And after I got to her place, I realized that one of those dudes who did not like me he saw me. So I can't let her know I'm afraid. I got to still act like I'm cool and tough. But I am terrified. So I drop her off. All right, I'll see you tomorrow. You know, thanks for walking me. Oh, you're welcome. See you later. And as soon as I turn around and start walking, he's at the corner. I can't turn around and walk the other way. That's a dead giveaway. I'm going to get chased. And I can't make myself look all tough. Never do that. Never try to make yourself look tough. You're not tough. Somebody's going to try to find out if you're really tough. I can't do that either. I'm not a tough guy. Only thing I can do is be in love with my environment. Is to accept this moment right here. To know that everything around me is supporting me, loving me, and that I am part of this very community I just walked in. That's the only choice I have this moment. And so I started embodying that. No matter how closer I got to him, no matter how him and his boys were taking off their coats and acting all big, I had to keep affirming that I am loved, I belong here. And finally, we are face to face. And he says, what's up? And we all know there are very different ways to say what's up. He did not say what's up like, hey, friend, thank you for coming to beautiful 35th Avenue. That's not how he said what's up. He said that other kind of what's up. I was so full of God's love by the time I got face to face to him that all I did was, hey, brother, what's up? How you doing? It confused him. He did not know how to respond. And wait a minute. That's not the what's up I meant. Come back. Oh, man. There was nothing more gangsta, not gangster, understand, this is hip hop language. There is nothing more gangsta than love. Nothing. Nothing. And when we say the word gangsta, understand what we're talking about is anything against the grain. That's all it means. We were just singing the Beatles, which means y'all remember the 60s, which means y'all are used to being rebellious. Where I'm from, the gangsters were the ones who moved around freely. That's just what we saw. The ones who decided I'm big and bad and I'm tough and I'm full of the presence of God and better not nothing mess with me, those were the ones who moved around. So when we say something is gangster, before getting offended, understand what we truly mean. Nelson Mandela was gangster. Mother Teresa was gangster. Harvey Milk was gangster. These are people who said, I don't care what society says. I am going to express myself and live the presence of God. Right now, as we watch the news and see everything that's going on, we can all agree that gangster is not the most popular way of life right now. Sorry, love. I meant to say love. I can't believe I just said gangster. Love is not the most popular opinion right now. I'm starting to hear myself now. It's weird. I used to say things. I didn't say that. And I'm like, wow, I didn't say that. Love is not the most popular opinion right now. It is not. So know that the person who is living as, through, and in love constantly in their life, you, my friend, are gangster. And I salute you. Yolo, thank you very much for having me. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. And so right now in this moment, we take this time to remember the truth. And the truth is that there is only God. One mind, one breath, one presence, one heartbeat. There is only one right now in this moment. And it is abundant. So abundant that it is known by many names. Just like I have many names. I'm known as Baba, brother, friend, son. You have many names, so God also has many names. But it's all the same. And so from this place of love and understanding, I am affirming that that same love that burns within all of us is spreading and continues to spread regardless of appearances. Regardless of breaking news, regardless of whatever pop-up show on our feed, we know that God is the only power in our life, and we are living the presence of God right now in this moment. I speak this for everyone inside these walls, everyone outside these walls. I speak this word knowing that God is the only thing in existence. I bless every prayer that we may be holding on to. Every prayer in the treatment box, every prayer outside the treatment box. I bless these wonderful practitioners, our prayer warriors keeping us grounded, the people we bring our things to and they say, I will take it for you. I am overwhelmed with joy. I am just giving thanks for all the love I felt as soon as I stepped into this room. Having to fight back my tears because I just felt like I was home as soon as I walked there. I give thanks knowing that the universe only says yes before I even finish my next sentence. For this and so much more, I am thankful. I release it. Amen, Ashe, Aho, and so it is. CSL Yolo. You know, Drake said you only live once. I think today we can say you only live omnipresently. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tisha. Wow. Really cool. This is a song of mine. It's called Different Day. We can learn to rise above all the things that bring us down. We can learn to live in love lost can now be found. We can take each other's hand, and suddenly we understand that it's a different day with God in our hearts. Different day, see how true love starts. Different day of calling, a different way of falling. In we can learn to let it be. Try now to just let go. Open up our eyes and see that everything is in the flow. And all we dream is coming true. 'Cause true's all we ever knew. And it's a different day with God in our hearts. Different day, see how true love starts. Different way of calling, a different way of falling. In love, in love, in we can learn to rise above all the things that bring us down. We can learn to live in love, and what was lost can now be found. We can take each other's hand, and suddenly we understand that it's a different day with God in our hearts. Different day, see how true love starts. A different way of calling, a different way of falling. In love, it's God. Falling in love with God is love, and falling in love with love is God, and falling in love with God is love, falling in love with love.
Oh, goodness. Wow. I guess I'm going to have to go listen to some hip hop. The last hip hop I remember is hip hop, hippity hop hop, down to the candy store. I guess I'm a little behind hip hop times. and listen with new ears to it. Thank you for that. Really. Oh my gosh. Woo. So, okay. Verse to Deborah. We are a center that observes the spiritual practice of giving or tithing. Uh-oh. It is time for Charlie's blessing. Charlie isn't here today, but we have something. So I get to read it. Okay. Forgiving, brightful hearts will shine for the human beings of God. We come through the beautiful shining light for the rising star of the sun. Angels will help us heal in our holy heartness with our joy to giving. Amen. Thank you, Charlie. I love it when he's here to read. Oh my God. Yeah. So, we are a center that observes the spiritual practice of giving or tithing. Here we call it conscious, committed, structured giving. So we know there are many ways to give and many ways to expand our abundance consciousness. And that's really what we're here about. We're about expanding our abundance consciousness. And one of the ways that we do that is through giving. We give of our time through volunteering and service, our talents through participation, and we give of our treasure through financial donations. And by doing all of this, we expand in all those ways. Your gifts help us in our mission to provide a sanctuary for all to be lifted and inspired to embody spiritual principles and live their inherent greatness. So every quarter, we share a portion of our tithe with a different local organization with similar values to our own. And this quarter, we're sharing with the Yolo Crisis Nursery. The Yolo Crisis Nursery, I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. And at some point during this quarter, we will invite someone to come and talk about their organization directly. The Yolo Crisis Nursery offers voluntary and free nurturing child care for ages birth through 5 years, 24 hours a day, 365 and a quarter days a year. Equally important are the Yolo Crisis Nursery's wraparound services that help parents resolve the problems that brought them to their door. That's beautiful. So I'm sure they're open for people. So we want to hug some babies or something, I guess. You can participate. So we have various ways to give. We're in the digital age these days, so gosh, that opens up all kinds of ways that we can contribute. You can text to give to 530-322-8441. You can PayPal to info@csLdavis@gmail.com, or you can snail mail, a check or money order to CSL Davis, Yolo, P.O. Box 1361, Davis, California, 95617. So now that we know why we give and how to give, let us actually enter into the sacred consciousness of divine abundance, because that's really what we're here for, to be in that consciousness. So I'm going to invite you to place your hand over your heart, symbolizing the vibrational energy of circulation, and say with me our affirmation. I give with an attitude of abundance, knowing that as I give, I do receive. Today, I celebrate my prosperity and my ability to share from my overflow of good. I give from the knowledge that all is well.
God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need.
And so let us shine our energy and vibration of consciousness and abundance, love and joy and peace and what is it, gangsta? Okay. As we bless and release these gifts to do their work of proclaiming the good news that all is well. As we have freely given, according to the law of circulation, it returns to us, full measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. So we will always have more to enjoy and to spare, to give and to share. For this, we give thanks. We let it be so, and together we say, and so it is. So we are welcoming the children. I like to do this little exercise. So I'm going to just invite us to take a breath. We're going to get in that gangster love consciousness. And we're actually going to feel the presence of children in this sanctuary, in the fellowship hall, in whatever little classroom we have going on, as well as their parents. So let's just actually feel somebody sitting in the chair next to you. If there's an empty seat next to you, in front of you, behind you, I'm going to invite you to just feel the presence, the love of God right there sitting in that seat. As we say to the children and their parents, we love you. We're here for you. And we're so glad you're here. And that goes for our own inner child as well. Let's say it for our own inner child. I love you. I am so glad you're here. And I am here for you. Thank you. So, when do we do birthdays?
The first Sunday.
Birthday. Can we do it now? Okay, guess what? It's my birthday. Do I have to sing myself? No, today is my 7th. But this month, Joyce, you want to come up here? That's the danger of coming here. You might, get surprises. It's also the blessing of coming here because you get surprises.
I have a longer version.
We'll do it together.
God danced the day you were born. The angels did the bump to Gabriel's horn. God danced the day you were born. We celebrate the gift of you. We celebrate the gift of you.
So, any September birthdays besides me? September? Okay. take it. I'll take it all.
It's all yours.
Okay, so remember, we believe in the power of spiritual connection. So one of the ways we connect is through our fellowship downstairs right after the service. But also the main way that we celebrate the power of connection is through prayer. We are all connected to each other and to God. Actually, there's only one of us here, and that is God. So, hey, we're connected. And that power can be shared through prayer. So, we really urge, do not leave here with anything heavy on your heart. If you would like prayer, practitioners available. We have a wonderful space set up for privacy. And also, you don't have to just pray if you got stuff heavy on your heart. If you want to celebrate something and you want to invite more of it into your life, that's a good reason to pray. So, practitioners would love to share the gift of prayer with you today, if you so choose. So at this time, we will gather in our circle, sing our closing song and benediction from our guest minister today, and head off and spread love.
knowing all is well, regardless of appearances, regardless of feelings. Peace is the only thing in existence in our lives. This is so much more.